Can you sail across the Sea of Thieves without using the wheel? This question has been asked for decades, and I'm here to find out the answer. I'm going to conduct this in the same way that I did my swim across the map, and that's by going up to the very northwest corner and then sailing diagonally across the map down to the southwest corner. Before I begin this sail though, I have to explain the main issue with it, which is the tides. You may have noticed that even when you put your wheel completely straight, you can still find your boat turning one way or the other. This is because there is a tide which runs from the northwest corner down to the southeast, consistently throughout the whole map. Your boat always wants to turn to go with this tide, meaning if you're sailing east, it'll try and turn right towards the south. And if you're sailing west, it'll try to turn left towards the south. So seeing as I'll be sailing southeast, I'll be going with the tide, which should be keeping me in a straight line. This would make the sail very easy if it wasn't for the fact there are many islands in the way that I'll somehow have to get around. After a short sail, I had arrived at the very top corner of the map, which was where I was starting my sail from. I checked that I was definitely off the map to ensure that I wasn't cheating, and then looked at the massive sail I had ahead of me all the way down to the southeast corner. I also decided for at least the starting bit just to keep my sail completely straight in case that influenced the turning of my boat by catching the wind.
I'm going to put my sail straight just because I don't know.
I then took a decent amount of time trying to get my wheel completely straight, which eventually I did.
Boom. Perfect.
I dropped the sails and began the first attempt. First thing I noticed is that I wasn't going completely southeast, so I was already slightly off course. But being my first attempt, it was more about just learning about the troubles I might have and then trying to work out solutions to them on future attempts. It also looked like I was heading straight towards this random rock.
I'm going to try moving the sail because I can get some wind here.
I did end up moving the sail and this didn't affect my course at all. So I'm pretty certain the wind has nothing to do with how your boat turns, it's just up to the tide. I quickly approached the very first obstacle for this sail, which was this random rock, and I somehow managed to skim past it about as close as you could get. Obviously I wasn't scared of getting holes from the rock, it was the fact that it would knock me off course and send me off in the wrong direction. After passing this rock, I checked the map and noticed that I was going to come very close to Smuggler's Bay. As I got closer, I saw that I was almost definitely going to hit it.
Probably going to hit right here on Smuggler's Bay.
But all I could do was watch it slowly approach and try and deal with it once I got there.
Oh, but I'm just going to skim past it, I think. I'm going to hit those things.
I did end up missing the main island, but I was still going to hit a few little rocks that were off to the side. So I was going to have to employ my very first strategy. And this strategy involved two things that every boat has. The harpoons. You can use the harpoons to turn the boat. If you fire them in shallow enough water and then reel them in, you can get your boat to spin. I'm sure you've probably done this before. It's really hard to gauge how much it's going to turn the boat. It's also hard to gauge where you're going because you don't have a compass right there. But it's the only thing I can do, so I have to make it work. Once I was in the shallow enough water, I did the only thing I could and tried to turn myself with the harpoon.
Okay. Oh, that was perfect. Now I just need to turn back. Just a little. Oh, just a little bit.
Like that. I had successfully avoided the rocks, but I was a little bit too east. So I quickly, while I was still in the shallow waters, I was able to turn myself a tiny bit and put me pretty much back on a perfect course.
Look at that.
After completing this perfect dodge of the island, I was pretty confident. The harpoons worked amazingly. I still had quite a while to go and there was going to be other islands along the way, but being able to dodge it that easily really did fill me with quite a bit of confidence that this was going to be possible. Maybe on the first attempt, maybe it would take me more, but it was looking good. As I was passing Boulder K, I wanted to make a tiny adjustment towards the south a little bit just to give me a better trajectory, and I was just able to hit the shallow water and make that adjustment, but then I realized I kind of pointed myself directly into Lone Cove. Luckily the tide was slowly drifting me away from it.
Oh, I might miss it. I'm going to miss it. Lovely. Do I need to make any corrections though quickly? That's pretty perfect. That's actually pretty perfect. I do have Hidden Spring Keep in the way, though. Might get this first try. This is looking pretty good. At the rate things were going, it did look like I could get this first try. I was on a perfect trajectory, and if I was just able to keep that up, I would make it. Okay, which way do I want to go around this? Probably want to go south, because then I have a chance. Then if I get to this shallow water, I can redirect. I was going to have to purposely take myself off course to avoid a Hidden Spring Keep. So I was hoping I would be able to get back onto it. Got it? How much? I can't tell how much I'm turning. More. I have no clue how much I'm turning. Like that? Yep, nice. Oh, that's almost perfect. I can probably wrap around here. Pretty perfect. Oh, look at that. I'm okay. I am going a little too south now, though. I mapped this out. Yeah, this is quite south, but there are plenty of islands that I can redirect. And then hopefully, if I can get on a course where I intercept the Ashen Reaches, I'll be able to probably make a final adjustment to perfectly end up right down here. I'm going very south now, though. The next island I was going to come to was Reapers, and it was looking like that was going to be a good chance to redirect and hopefully get me back on course, heading southeast. Oh, there is a ship, though. Ships was something I didn't really have to worry about when I was swimming across the map, because no one really saw you. But now the fact that I'm sailing, people can definitely see me. So I decided to pop up the Alliance flag just to give myself the best chance of not getting attacked. I feel like it's actually better having the wind sort of slowing me down a little bit, because I have heaps more time to think and work out what I'm going to do. Okay, what? Who is this? Some gold hoarder? Despite the random gold hoarder, I was quickly approaching Reapers and had to plan out my harpooning. Like a nice 45 degrees to the left. Oh no, don't come towards me. Alright, this should be shallow. Yep. Just a little turn, just a little turn. What happened? Turns out the water got deep way too quickly around Reapers, and I wasn't able to get a good harpoon spot. I harpooned really close to the boat, which just doesn't turn you. I wasn't able to harpoon out any further because it gets deep super quickly. I didn't even turn at all. Okay, and I have another chance. I have a few chances, I think. Lookout Point is probably the last option. I was now heading directly south, and Lookout Point was the final island before I just went out into the Red Sea. So I knew that I was going to have to do something before I passed that island. This is close-ish. I tried to turn myself at Falls Lagoon, but I just wasn't close enough to the island and had to sail past it. Chicken Isle? No, I'm not going to get close enough to that. Lookout Point. My final chance. And from Lookout Point, I'm going to have to pretty much turn. Can't go southeast. Like east. Pretty much east and a tiny south. Will put me on a nice trajectory to Ashen Reaches. With the wind still against me, I had plenty of time to work out what I was going to do once I got over to Lookout Point. There's Lookout Point. And oh, yes. There's this massive random rock here. Okay, I kind of forgot about rocks. I guess I can use those as well. I just need to go, if anywhere, I just need to go. The worst thing that can happen is I go past these and then there's nothing. If I at least just turn east or even northeast, I have heaps more options. And then this part, this crossing is going to be pretty dodgy. Because if the tides like take me either way during that crossing, especially if it takes me south. On the approach, I realised the tide was not pushing me past Lookout Point, and I was heading directly towards the massive rock. Okay, I'm going to have to do something here. I'm going to hit this rock. That could be good. I want to turn like straight that way. I need to just do a full turn. See where I go off this rock, and then I'll have to make a quick decision on where I harpoon. Oh, wrong way. Come on, turn me, turn me, turn me. Oh, please. Turn, 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 turn. Yes. Yes. Which way is this? Okay, a little more. Little more. That's nice. Yeah, look, I can... Whatever that is, I should be able to bounce off that. Give me a tiny touch more. Perfect. Oh, okay. I turned quite a bit. Okay, I've turned completely east. Okay, this is slightly unfortunate. Yes, the tide. Okay. So the tide's taking me a little north. The tide was doing its best to thread me through these islands. Perfectly so I didn't get any shallow water to harpoon off of. Okay, I'll be able to get something over here. If I was just going a little more, I shouldn't have done that little correction at the end. I think that trajectory there was pretty decent. Could have done something with Thieves Haven, but I did a little extra and that's what's brought me up here. It was a little unfortunate that I was now pretty much sailing northeast, but it was better than sailing straight south off the map into the Red Sea. I had a long sail ahead of me, just now waiting for me to enter the Devil's Roar and hopefully get some sort of island over there. But I got a little surprised before I got there. Oh my god, I got krakened. Oh, this could actually spin me. My immediate thought is that I could use the Kraken's slap attack to spin the boat around, and once I was turned around, I'd then quickly kill it and be able to head off in a better direction. Which way did that spin me? I don't even know. Okay, it's spinning me. Oh, I'm spinning. That's heaps better, okay? I want to go now. Once I was facing what I thought was a better way, I quickly killed the Kraken and then set off sailing. But after repairing the boat and then consulting the map, it wasn't quite as good as I thought it was. Yeah, it dipped me down for a little bit and it looks like I'm kind of coming back up. Worst case scenario is I go through all of this and straight off here. Looking like that could happen. So with my fate still being that I was just going to be drawn into the Devil's Roar and hopefully pass an island, there was nothing I could do but wait and watch it slowly approach. Perfect. I'm going to hit Morris Peak. I need a very south turn off of Morrows. The Kraken had blessed me with a lovely trajectory that would just graze me past Morrows Peak, getting me into the shallow water. I need to go like that direction. Now I needed to turn right, so I immediately hopped on the right harpoon and started harpooning. But it turns out the water on that side was too deep, and my only option now was to get on the left harpoon and attempt to do a 360 all the way around. This is risky, this is risky. Please! Okay, wait. Okay. Continue turning. Wait, I need to raise my sail. I can position nicely. I'm having a little break. I need to point literally the opposite of where I am. That way. I'd managed to get myself nicely trapped in some of the Morris Peak rocks, which gave me time to work out what I was going to do and try to accurately harpoon my boat around. I was able to turn a little bit, but the water gets super deep where I was really quickly, which meant it was really tricky to harpoon far enough away from the boat to actually get it to turn. This is not quite where I need to be. I ended up having to pull myself back the other way and sort of just wiggle myself around a little bit until I was able to get this crazy harpoon just somehow it latched onto something and it perfectly was able to turn me out of where I was. Okay, that's a nice grab. Oh, that's a nice spin. Oh my goodness. It's not perfect, but that is almost perfect. Okay, this will get me to Devil's Thirst. And hopefully, okay, now I can sort it out, Devil's Thirst. I was happy now I was at least pointed at another island and began to set sail over to it. I just need to make it to Devil's Thirst. I noticed very quickly that I was drifting, but it wasn't very far away, so I was hoping I would just go straight enough to make it over there. No, why am I drifting like this? I'm going to miss it. Oh, but then I'll hit Ashen Reaches. This could be perfect, actually. Okay. I had just drifted far enough right for it to be out of range, but I was now heading towards the Ashen Reaches, which was my original plan to head there and make one final adjustment. Okay, once I go to Ashen Reaches, I need to go just directly southeast. Although it looked good, the tide wasn't quite strong enough, and it wasn't going to turn me enough to make it there. I pulled up the sail just to give me some more time to think, because this was the very last island and my last chance to make a correction. Otherwise, I'd done this whole sail for nothing.
Might go for those rocks.
I decided my only chance was to try and make a sail over to some rocks that I was kind of pointing at.
I'm going to go slow. Okay, I'm just going to full stop again. Somehow I need to be pointing that way.
I had made it to them, but they were kind of almost blocking the way I needed to go. I didn't have any other choice though. I had to try and harpoon off these because there's nothing once I pass these rocks.
Oh! There's a rock in the way though. Okay, let me go forwards really slowly. Oh, it's so perfect. Just get past the rock.
I had somehow turned myself perfectly, and now just needed to get past these rocks. I was already drifting east and made one final adjustment off the rock to try and get myself pointing in a perfect southeasterly direction, which I managed to do, and as soon as I did, I dropped the sail.
Go, 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 go. Please. Oh, this looks decent. I am drifting left. Oh. Why am I turning so far east?
Despite going pretty much with the tide, it was pushing me to the left, and I needed to be going to the right. Just as I thought there was nothing I could do, this random rock appeared.
Maybe I can bounce off this rock. Just some random rock out here.
I needed to turn right, but I was passing it on the left, meaning I couldn't harpoon it.
I almost want to just bounce off it. Come on, perfectly bounce me. Just a perfect bounce. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, that could be perfect.
Oh my goodness. I had somehow bounced off this random rock just right for it to point me directly at the corner.
Oh my goodness.
This first attempt was supposed to be just to test stuff, to test the harpoons, to see how the wind and the tide affected me. But I somehow had managed to cross the map in the first try. And I definitely didn't think that I was going to be able to cross perfectly on the corner like I just did.
That was a crazy bounce off that rock. What are the chances of that?
I've got no clue if that rock has a name, but it somehow saved me from hours and hours of having to reattempt this, seeing as I got it on the first try. I let my boat sail out into the Red Sea, still without touching the wheel a single time, till it sank, just off the corner of the map. So, to answer the question, can you sail across the map without a wheel? Yes, you very much can. Took me about an hour and a half. Definitely could be done quicker. I was against the wind the whole time. If you're still watching this, thank you very much for watching the whole video. I'm just answering these questions because I'm interested in them. And it's kind of cool seeing other people are also interested. If you have any ideas on other things I might be able to try, please leave them in the comments. I'm thinking the next thing I might try is swimming from the Maiden Voyage Island into the Sea of Thieves and see if that's possible. Anyways, hopefully you found this interesting, and I'll see you guys around.